If you clean the mold but don't fix the leak or the dampness, it's almost certainly coming back.
So fixing the source is non-negotiable.
Absolutely, for any kind of long-term control. And there's a time frame involved, too. The guide really stresses drying water-damaged areas and items within, 24 to 48 hours.
That fast?
Yeah, that fast. To stop mold from even getting started. You know those pictures of mold on damp firewood or a windowsill? That shows how quick it can happen once moisture is there.
And it's not just health, right? The guide mentions property damage, too.
Good point. Mold literally eats away at whatever it's growing on. So, yeah, dealing with it quickly protects your house and your stuff, too.
Okay, so you found mold. Now what? Who actually does the cleanup? Is this something you can tackle yourself, or do you need to call someone?
The EPA gives a pretty handy rule of thumb here, based on size. If the moldy area is small, say less than about 10 square feet, think roughly a 3-foot by 3-foot patch.
Okay.
Then generally you can probably handle the cleanup yourself, provided you follow their guidelines.
All right, so small areas are potentially DIY. What if it's bigger, or if there's been, major water damage?
Yeah, for anything over that 10 square feet mark, or if you've had significant water issues, the guide suggests 2 routes. Either consult the EPA's more detailed doc. It's called Mold Remediation in Schools and Commercial Buildings.
Sounds specific.
It does, but the principles apply pretty broadly. Or, probably simpler for homeowners, hire a qualified mold cleanup professional, a remediation contractor.
And if you go the professional route, what should you look for?
Definitely check references, ask about their experience specifically with mold, and importantly, ask if they follow established guidelines, like the EPA's own remediation guide, or standards from groups like ACGIH, that's the American Conference of Governmental Industrial Hygienists.
Okay, good to know. Are there times when calling a pro is basically required?
Yes. The guide flags a couple of critical ones. First, if you suspect your HVAC system is contaminated, maybe you see mold near vents, or the system got wet somehow.
Right.
Big warning here. Do not run the system if you think it's contaminated. That just spreads spores everywhere. There's another EPA guide on duct cleaning for that.
Makes sense. What's the second scenario?
If the water damage or mold came from sewage or other contaminated water, that's hazardous material, you absolutely need professionals trained for that specific type of cleanup.
Okay. And what if you have health concerns before starting any cleanup yourself?
The guide is very clear. Talk to your doctor or a health professional before you start any work. Get their advice first.
Good advice. So for those smaller DIY appropriate jobs, what are the actual cleanup steps?
First things first, fix the leak or water source. Get everything totally dry.
Step 1.
Step 1, always. Then for hard surfaces, walls, floors, tiles, scrub the mold off with detergent and water, just regular detergent. Then rinse and dry completely. Thoroughly dry.
What about those spots that always seem damp, like bathrooms? Mold loves bathrooms.
Yeah, the guide has a specific tip for that. If mold keeps returning in, say, your shower, focus on ventilation, run the exhaust fan longer, or open a window during and after showering, and just clean those surfaces more often. It helps keep the moisture levels down.
Okay. But what about stuff like carpet or ceiling tiles? I saw a picture in the guide, mold growing on a ceiling tile. Look deep in there.
Right, and that's where the guide gets really practical, maybe a bit harsh. It says absorbent materials, ceiling tiles, carpet, even drywall. Sometimes if they get moldy, they might just have to be thrown out.
Thrown out? Really?
Yeah, because mold can grow deep into the material, making it basically impossible to remove it all. So that moldy rug, it might sadly be a goner. You just can't be sure you got it all out of the fibers.
Wow, okay. Tough, but necessary. Anything we should avoid doing during cleanup?
Definitely don't just paint over it or caulk over it.
Oh, good point.
The guy says you have to clean and dry the surface completely first.